comments, Snit. Go ahead and wait for the first question, and we'll get started. Go to you, Zach.
Hey, Snit, I know you're not big on social media, but today the Falcons won their first game. Julio Jones scored a touchdown. He's mixing it up, showing some support. Just what it means to have the city of Atlanta 800 miles away, knowing they're rooting you guys on so much.
It's awesome. I did see it too. I thought it was pretty cool. I gotta, hope I can see Julio, when this is all over. Appreciate him doing that and the support. And it's great. It's been like that I've been getting texts for a month now. And I think it's really cool that these guys, how the city embraces these guys and have fun with it.
Go ahead, Bo.
When you left the park yesterday, did you expect them to go to an opener? Did you have any idea it was May? And does it really even affect your preparations?
Not really. I mean, we didn't know, actually didn't know, until this afternoon, really. But yeah, it's at this point and after this whole week here, I don't know, we're pretty familiar with everybody that they're going to throw tonight as well as they are. So we've already prepared for all these guys at some point. And like I say, it's same thing whenever we run somebody out after you play a week-long series like this. So you're get to be pretty familiar with everybody involved.
Go ahead, John.
Thanks. And Brian, just to follow up on that, knowing that they've had to go to their key pitchers a lot in the last couple of days just to get to a Game 7, does that prompt your hitters to be maybe a bit more patient than normal, trying to get deeper and deeper into the bullpen and work deeper counts?
Like I've said before, I think our guys have their approach. They're going to be, I don't know that they're going to hit to situations like that. They're going to get in the box and they're going to grind through their at-bats and actually I think probably have their focus is going to be that. I don't know that they're going to be that far ahead of what's going on, because once they get in there, I mean, they have one thing in mind, and that's squaring something up. So, like I say, they'll be familiar with everybody that pitches in that game tonight, and hopefully we can put the big part of the bat on the ball.
Go to you, Dave.
Snit, did you guys have two lineups in case, depending on who the pitcher would be, or did it matter as far as you knew the options, you were going to stick with one lineup?
Yeah, just pretty much just with our regular lineup starting out, because, it's hard to do that because you don't know, these guys are, they may only go one time through. You may see them one inning. I mean, if you start putting your lineup to who's starting or whatever, because I think it's going to change so much that we just went with our regular lineup, knowing that, probably, I don't know how far, May went, 50-some pitches 2 days ago or whatever. And I don't know how far he's going to go, if he just may go one inning and then we get somebody else. So it'd be kind of hard to shift a lineup on a starter, knowing that he's probably not going to go very deep.
Did Dave let you give you some idea when they were going to, announce it, or how they were leaning or anything like that?
He texted me this afternoon with the way they were going.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, no matter what happens tonight, do you feel like this team is pretty well positioned to get to this point and even beyond over the next few years with the talent and the youth on this club?
Absolutely. I think this is, as I've said many times too, this has been a great experience for these guys. This whole run has been just something else, for just like the first time they went through a pennant race and experiencing that, now to get deep into the playoffs and to see what we're capable of. And I think we're going to do nothing but get stronger as we get some of these young guys can, mature and get another year on them. And Mike Soroka comes back, and there's a lot to be excited for with this club going forward.
Go ahead, Skylar.
What have you thought of the way Freddie has carried an MVP-like regular season into the postseason?
It's been great. Like I said, Freddie's healthy this postseason. Last year he wasn't. And he had after getting going in the shortened season, he had a phenomenal year, and he just kept right on going. I would love to get to the World Series where the world could see how great a player this guy is.
Back to you, John.
Thanks. Brian, how could you describe your conversations with Nick Marchakis around the time that he opted out, then when he came back, and how has your relationship and the strength of that just helped walk along that very long process?
Now I was very supportive when he decided to do what he wanted in the beginning. I would never have anything but support for anything that Nick decided to do. I understood where he was coming from. And I think once he was out and we started living this, as he talked to guys and things, that it probably wasn't as bad as he thought maybe it was going to be. And then once we got going, it was more normal than I think everybody thought it might be, because we didn't really know until we did this. I know our club, myself, the coaches, when he decided to come back, we were, you hated to lose a presence like Nick Marchakis. So we were all just extremely happy to have him back in the fold. And Nick Marchakis is a guy, I had a conversation with Buck Showalter last week, and he had our game, and I said, probably, like me, that you got to manage a guy like this to really appreciate him, and the professionalism and what he brings to the park every day, the consistency, just the presence that he brings is something that's I just respect the heck out of that guy.
Thanks, Brian.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Hey, Snit, we had a chance just a moment ago to talk to Ronnie, and I know you have a lot of leaders on this team, but what would it mean really for him to have that energy tonight and really set the tone at the top of that lineup?
Well, I think it'd be huge. It'd be huge. We need those guys to go. We need that top of the lineup and those guys to make a difference, because that's how we're here, and that's been the success. I think it'd be huge if he could ignite things. And as we saw the other day in a couple of big innings we had, it's just infectious with these guys. Once something gets off the ground, they start keeping that line moving and can be really effective.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Scott.
Snit, on Ronald, how do you think that they've pitched him in this series? I mean, do you think they've thrown more breakers at him?
No, they pitched him. You're going to pitch that kid tough. I mean, you're gonna be aware of the damage that he can do. And I love seeing him go the other way with the double that he hit, and that to me could be a start of something really good for him. So he's a dangerous guy that they're going to be very aware of when he's up there.
Go to you, Gabe.
Hey, Brian. It was such a rough night for Kyle the other night, but he did only throw 28 pitches. Do you see a spot for Kyle in this game tonight, or where's he at?
He's available. I can just say that if we had to use him, definitely available.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned earlier about getting Soroka back next year. Has the performance of some of your young pitchers altered your perception at all in terms of what you have in starting pitching moving forward after this?
Yeah, I think it has. I think the emergence of some of these guys and the maturity they've shown just at the end of all this in the last couple through 2-3 weeks has given us a lot of really, a lot of things to feel really good about, and how they've handled these situations and been through all this. And I think it can't do anything but going into next year, just, you feel really good about the depth that we have again, and the development of a lot of these young players.
And then I know yesterday you talked about how you've never been involved in a Game 7 before. Obviously the franchise has. Have you talked to anybody, Glavine, Smoltz, any of those guys about, what Game 7s are like at all? I'm just curious.
No, I mean, I've watched enough of them to kind of get it that, it's game on and anything goes, and it is different. I mean, I said, well, it's just a baseball game, but it's a different baseball game. Probably the heightened sense of urgency that we've had all year intensifies even more. And I'm excited. I'm excited to experience it firsthand. I think it's going to be fun and it'll be great to see. But I think just watching them all, you kind of get the gist of the whole thing. And again, it's Ian goes out there and keeps doing what he's doing, and it's got a chance of being a really nice evening, So you know, I've talked to, I think Walt might have been in a couple as a player. But I think once the game starts, I mean, you probably do things differently. It is game 7, but I think as far as the players go, you know, they got to be careful, I think, and temper trying to do too much and be the guy and, you know, hit 3-run homers with nobody on and things like that. I think you still, you know, you have to manage the emotion and energy that you have.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, you talked about the heightened sense of urgency you guys have played with all year, but until you're in that situation, you don't really know how they're going to respond.
I know, exactly. It's first for a lot of us going through this thing. I mean, like you say, I've never managed I think I've probably in the minor leagues, I've managed to win, you know, I've done that in championship rounds and things like that, but this is a little bit different.
Thanks.
Back to you, Zach.
Obviously, Max could pitch run tonight, Snit, but is he the only one that you don't have an option of throwing tonight? Is everybody else available to pitch?
Yeah, pretty much. He's it. I mean, everybody else is good to go. You know, Minter wanted to pitch last night. He said he was good to go after 40-some pitches last night. So they'll all be available tonight.
Okay. Any last ones for Snit? Snit, thanks for your time.
Thank you.